listening to the Art of Homeschooling podcast, where we help parents cultivate creativity and connection at home. I'm your host, Jean Miller, and here on this podcast, you'll find stories and inspiration to bring you the confidence you need to make homeschooling work for your family. Let's begin. Well, hey there, my friend. Today, I want to talk about gift giving and receiving because these can be problematic in families. Seems a bit ironic, I know, when we're trying to simplify and build a home environment based on love and gratitude. A little ironic that gift giving and receiving might be challenging. But every year around the holidays, I get questions about how to handle gifts. So in this episode, I'm going to give you my top tips on how to give and receive gifts. Namely, how do we handle gift giving and receiving, and how do we avoid conflict in our families? Welcome to the art of gift giving and receiving. I was there once myself years ago, perhaps right where you are now, wanting only natural, beautiful playthings for my children, right? In keeping with my hard-earned simplicity. And then a well-meaning aunt or grandma would give my kids a plastic toy with all the bells and whistles, and I would panic. Those kind of toys that you can press all kinds of buttons and they beep and flash and do all kinds of crazy things and seem to take up the space of the whole house, those kinds of toys. The truth is, though, that as Waldorf-Inspired parents, we can go overboard, sometimes way too far. And connection with extended family is just as important to preserve and nurture along with our own immediate family connections. So, what's a Waldorf family to do about gift giving and receiving? We have more control over the gifts we give our own children, of course, right? And if you want more ideas to bring gifts that tie into lessons, I have a few blog posts that I'll link to in the show notes about making handmade gifts in December, last minute handmade gifts, because making handmade gifts can be really festive and connecting and a learning experience as well. So it's a great thing to do during the month of December. I have just a few handmade gift ideas for you. These are gifts that we've made in our family over the years. The folded paper window stars, knitted washcloths and handmade soap, bookmarks, fancy baked goods, placemats, and calendars. I love giving handmade gifts, and every year we'd make at least a few to send off to the grandparents and to our close relatives. You can also think about gifts of experience, such as tickets to a show, an ice skating date, dinner out for two so that you can have some one-on-one time with one of your kids. Lessons in a certain area of interest for them, music or art or something like that. So experience gifts are really, really fun to give. Kids really love them, and they can help keep things simple. Books, of course, books make wonderful gifts. You know how much I love books. I have a full list of over 50 children's books on my website at favorite. You can look up favorite winter holiday books for giving and receiving. And in fact, I have a whole collection of gift guides for simple, natural families if you want more gift ideas. I'll link to that in the show notes. You can find the show notes for this episode over at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 58. Now for the dilemma of receiving unwanted gifts. This is potentially a messier topic. Some extended families can even get into great conflict over this one. So here are just a few thoughts as we head into the holiday season. First, I would ask grandparents or in-laws or aunts and uncles if they would like any suggestions for gifts to give to your children. Then you could steer them toward a company that you feel good about. This always helped my mom and dad, even if we didn't pick out the exact gift, because I thought it would be fun for it to be a surprise. I would send them a couple of websites that they could go check out and choose a gift from there. So consider Nova Naturals, A Child's Dream, Bella Luna Toys, Palumba Toys. Or ask for a specific item that the whole family can enjoy together. This was a great solution in our extended family. The grandparents often gave us one gift for all the kids to play with together. And these kinds of gifts would be like the big building block set or some sort of building construction toy or something like that. Here are a few other ideas, more in that realm, that the whole family can enjoy together. Capla blocks are super fun, a wooden barn or dollhouse, child-sized tools, or a fun family game like Gnomes at Night or Apples to Apples Junior. Or you could ask for a membership to the Natural History Museum, the zoo, the Historical Society, the Botanical Gardens, the Art Museum. For years, one of our family's favorite gifts was an annual membership to either the zoo or the Natural History Museum. It alternated every year. But what if your relatives don't ask? Or worse yet, they don't see the value in your natural lifestyle and they want to give your children the latest plastic toy or electronic device. Let them. That might surprise you, but that is my advice. I know that that is counterintuitive and that we often push back against that. But the time to share about your newfound or presently misunderstood path is not around the holidays. It's a process, right? Over time, they'll come to see the benefits to your children of your parenting choices, or you'll come to be able to talk to them about your goals and your hopes and your dreams for your children without bristling. Those sharp edges do soften over time on both sides of the aisle. And I think it's really important for us to, yes, take a stand for our children, but also remember the importance of family connections. So then what do you do with those unwanted gifts that your kids receive, you might ask? I would say let the children enjoy them for a period of time. If the toys become all-consuming, gently set limits, right? Remember the mantra, you can be firm, but also be kind. But usually, children get completely immersed in something for a relatively short amount of time, like a few days or a week, and then they begin to lose interest in that thing with all the bells and whistles. At a later date, then you can disappear the toy if you still have young children. That's what I would always call it. We disappear it, or clear them out and donate an item. Confer with your child about that, or simply put it away for a period of time and be willing to get it back out. So this kind of purging can happen during spring cleaning or in the summertime. It does not have to happen the day after your child receives the gift. Remember, you're in this for the long run. Don't let the dilemma of unwanted gifts ruin your holidays. Most importantly, don't set up a power struggle with grandparents or in-laws or your children by making ultimatums or edicts. That will work about as well as it does with our partners. The definition of a gift is a thing given willingly. So there almost always is a thread of good intention behind the gift, no matter what it is. So that's my advice for today. Thank you so much for joining me. You can find the show notes for this episode over at artofhomeschooling.com/episode 58. And remember this, accept your gifts with as much grace and gratitude as you can muster. Happy holidays. That's all for today, my friend. But here's what I want you to remember. Rather than perfection, let's focus on connection. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Art of Homeschooling podcast.